Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome back to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time I am building here in the brand new world that came with the Lovestruck expansion pack. And this build is going to be base game and Lovestruck only, so if you guys don't have a lot of packs, it should be easy for you guys to download off of the gallery. You'll notice though that the door on the garage is not base game or Lovestruck. It's from, I believe, Snowy Escape, but I end up replacing it later on in the build because at this point, I thought I would do like just very limited pack. And then as I was decorating, I was like, no, I should make this Lovestruck and base game only. So I end up replacing the door later. But yeah, this world is beautiful. I really like the world a lot. I think it's like really detailed and it's fun to have another city and it feels full. Whereas I feel like the last few worlds we've got, they feel kind of empty, or at least the surrounding areas to the lots feel kind of empty. But this one, the fence to like that park, I guess we could call it, is right up next to the lot, which I think is super cool. And I noticed some of the other ones were the same way. So I really like that more like nestled in feel where it feels like you're actually building in the world and not some weird lot that has extra space around it and it makes it feel disjointed from the surroundings. So really like that. I really wish that there would be apartments like City Living and eco lifestyle, and I know I've mentioned that before, but some of you guys mentioned that there's an update with penthouses and apartments, or at least with for rent, so I'm gonna have to mess around with that. But I've also seen some people unlock the buildings from City Living and I think eco lifestyle too, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna have to play around with a few different ideas because I definitely want to be able to build apartments in here and not just build an entire shell like for rent, because I just don't really like that as much. I like it, but not as much. So I do want to do some apartments, but for now I'm just building a family home. And I really enjoyed looking at the items. This was my first time really looking at the build and buy. Of course, I've seen like the trailer. I didn't watch the live stream, and I haven't watched any videos from other creators. So I really wanted to have like my own like first impressions of the items basically. And I like the stuff that came in this pack, but it honestly feels very limited for an expansion pack. I expected to see a lot more furniture that suited this world, which I believe is supposed to be like a Mexican inspired city world. I'm not sure if it's necessarily Mexico or just like the kind of like a hybrid of that world, kind of how the My Wedding Stories world was like a hybrid of like Italy, Mediterranean. I don't know if this one's supposed to be a hybrid or not, but I was hoping to see more furniture that fit in this style. Thankfully, we have some from base game, like literally both couches in here are base game. The side table that the TV is on is base game. Those candles are base game. The chair came with Lovestruck and the rug as well. Oh, and speaking of something from Build and Buy, these archways, I love the doors. I love the doors and archways that came with this pack a lot. I wish that there would have been some medium height ones though. I found it a bit strange that they only came in the small wall height, especially for an expansion pack. You would think there'd be some variety, you know, for the different wall heights. I just found that very strange. It felt kind of underwhelming when I opened up the game and looked at all of the items together. I felt very very small, honestly. They're all nice. Like it was a mixture between like the theme of the world, but also I don't know what the other theme, like what you would call it necessarily, but there's the heart bed and there's the lip couch and some items that maybe look a little bit art deco, like there's a chair and stuff. And so all of them are nice on their own, but it just didn't feel like anything was completed. There was just like little pieces here and there from the different styles, and I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit of the silly stuff, and then maybe a complete set of furniture that would fit in a home like this, because I felt like I was using a lot of base game furniture to complete the style and to get the look that I was going for. There's no couches that match the world. There's no beds that match the world. There's no dresser or things like that. There's just like a desk, but the desk doesn't match the theme of the world. It matches the theme of the silly stuff, which I mean, I do like the silly stuff. I like building homes like for families, and I like building more realistic style, and so I would have liked to have seen more of that. But Anyways, aside from that, the build stuff is nice. I really like the windows. The tile I think is super pretty. I love the tile that I used in this build, both for the walls and the floors, and the wall texture that I used on the exterior of this I think is great. I really love how it has the worn pieces, and they actually match together really nicely between the different floor levels. So I really liked that. And it came with some really beautiful artwork. Again, just kind of minimal amount. I just felt like for an expansion pack, I was expecting to see more, so I was just honestly a little bit underwhelmed. Let me know if you guys have felt the same way. I still like it, and the world is awesome. I love having a new city world, and it feels so detailed, and I really like how close the lot is to the surrounding decorations. Like here, I thought that I was building at the edge of the lot, but as you'll be able to see, I was able to expand the fence, and it went over way further than I thought. Even though there wasn't the white line that actually showed like the edge of the lot, I assumed it was there without even really looking. And so I like that the fence actually like butts up to the edge of the lot. And I think there's some other ones like that. But this is the only lot I've built on so far. I definitely need to build on the penthouse lot. I haven't built a penthouse in such a long time. I'm not honestly super into penthouses for some reason. Building them in The Sims isn't that interesting to me. I mean, I like the ones that I've done, but they don't call me back to keep building them over and over again. And I know I mentioned this about apartments because I was really hoping that with like a new city world, we would get apartments like we have with City Living and Eco Lifestyle, but unfortunately they did not come. But I believe there's an update with penthouses that we can now use for rent to build apartments. I might be getting that wrong. I haven't actually looked into that, but I saw some comments and stuff saying that there was an update regarding those. So I need to look into that more. I've also seen that a creator, I'm forgetting their name at the moment, has unlocked some of the apartment shells from City Living and probably Eco Lifestyle too. So I have some investigating to do to figure out what I can do to actually have apartments in this world. I mean, I know I could use for rent and build an entire apartment building, but kind of like penthouses, they're cool and all, but I'm just not super interested in building an entire apartment building. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. We'll see. But I really love City Living, and I love the apartments, and I build them over and over and over, and I'm not bored of them yet, and it's been years, so I was hoping for more. But anyways, as you can see, I'm decorating this little side area using some of the live edit objects. The little plant that I'm using that has the pink flowers, I think it's supposed to be like a, oh, what's that Christmas flower? Poinsettia. I think it's supposed to be a poinsettia. It's a little bit more pink than red, so I'm not sure if it is, but the leaves kind of look like that to me, or like the petals. But anyways, I didn't realize when I was placing those just then that it actually comes in a tiny little terracotta pot, and so when I start placing it in the back, I go down to more of like a Sims eye level, and I see that it's in a pot. And so I leave the ones on the side, but I don't leave the ones in the back because I didn't feel like they really made sense. I thought they were like a plant in the ground. And so yeah, I start placing it around thinking that it was just like a low-lying flower. But they're actually in a little pot, and they're so cute. And this other plant that I'm using that kind of has somewhat of a hydrangea flower, it's not a hydrangea, I'm not really sure what it is exactly, is also a live edit objects plant, and it's beautiful. This tree with the purple flowers is not live edit objects. It's actually in the Build and Buy catalog, and it has pretty purple flowers, and I believe the tree is like in the surrounding areas too, so it feels like it belongs there, and I think the color is super fun. But yeah, for the backyard, I didn't add like a whole lot. I do end up adding some planter pots, and I think a grill. I thought about adding a swing set, but I didn't see any children living in this house. I wanted to decorate the other room for a teenager because there's 2 bedrooms in this build, so I did one for the parents, and then I did one for a teenager. There's also a garage, and I decorated the garage, which I think looks pretty good considering using only base game and this expansion pack, but you could easily turn that into another bedroom if you wanted to. But the bedrooms are pretty big, so you could easily split the teenager's room into like 2 twin beds or something, and you'd probably have plenty of space. But yeah, over here is the front deck area. I just put an outdoor dining table, and I used these very simple metal chairs. I was trying to go for a less fancy look for this house, so I ended up not using The items that are more Art Deco looking, or like the silly heart bed. I mean, I keep saying silly. It's fun. I really do like it, but I don't really know what kind of style that is necessarily. It's kind of like a sleazy motel style. I don't know if that's right either. But I didn't end up using any of that. So if you're looking for those items, I'll definitely have to do a build that focuses on that theme. Maybe a motel would be fun. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I wish we would have actually got hotels with this expansion pack, but I think it's all about like the dating and the costumes, like the role-playing costumes. I don't really know what much else there is. So forgive me, I just don't really pay that much attention to gameplay, but hotels would have been so cool. But I imagine that'll be their own expansion pack or game pack. I'm not really sure, but I really hope that if we do get hotels, it'll be kind of like Dine Out, where you can visit a hotel, you can run a hotel, you can own a hotel. Those sorts of things I think would be fun to include in a pack with hotels. But I guess I'll build one and we can just make it an apartment or something. I don't know. But anyways, here I'm moving on to the interior again, decorating the entryway and this little hallway. I think the artwork that came in this pack is super pretty. There's this painting that I'm using above this side table, and then also the nice little cluster of different pictures that I used at the top of the staircase. I think those are really nice. And there's also another painting that I use in the hallway upstairs, and some posters and stuff that you'll see in the kids' room, but really nice artwork. And then I thought, since this was a more Mexican style house, I would use these Day of the Dead skulls and put them here in the dining room. I thought that looked pretty cool. And I really like this door that I have over here. This is leading to the downstairs bathroom. And then the rest of the items in here so far are base game, except for that rug I just placed. But I didn't notice there is a new fruit bowl, so I do place a new fruit bowl on the table and replace the base game one. But there's no counters or stove or refrigerator, so all of this is base game 2. The stools that I'm placing are with the new expansion pack, and those are really nice. There's a couple of different options for stools, but I felt like these ones fit the style a little bit better. But yeah, I do clutter up the kitchen just slightly. I was trying to leave this build pretty minimally decorated. Oh, this is one of my favorite items. I don't actually end up using it in this build just because the placement of the windows and the counters didn't really work for it. But I love that we have just a separate like wall picture backsplash, because I use one by Peacemaker in CC builds all the time. And there's a few other ones that I have from different creators, but I love just a nice flat square backsplash that you can actually customize the backsplash and have a different wallpaper like above the cabinets or on like a different piece of the wall or something. It's really nice. So I was very happy to see that. I'm hoping that we get maybe more in the future, because of course this one is very specific to this theme, but I would love maybe a more just simple and like basic one that would work in a lot of different types of builds. I think that would be super cool. But anyways, this is pretty much it for the entire living area of the build, and then I do decorate the garage. And like I said, I do replace this door. I'm pretty sure this door is from Snowy Escape. I think it works really nicely for a garage door, but I thought these ones for base game work too. I mean, of course your Sims will walk through them like doors. They won't function like a garage door. I probably could have made like a custom one using some like wood, like wall texture and some windows, and I've done those plenty of times, but I decided not to. But yeah, for the garage, I used the woodworking table. I put a punching bag in here. We got a really nice new weight set decor object. Unfortunately, I do not believe it's functional at all. I think it's purely decorative, which is sad for gameplay because we still only have a treadmill, a punching bag, and a little weight machine. I'm not really sure what that one's called, but it would have been nice to see another animation for exercise. So I'm happy to have the decor object, though. I will definitely get a lot of use out of that. But when thinking of like people who actually play the game, it just seems like maybe we should have got another. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining too much because I do like it, but it just seemed kind of disappointing that it was only decor. But anyways, moving on to the upstairs, picking out some different wall art. This is the other painting that I was talking about that's super pretty. I especially like the swatch that I chose with the lady and the flowers. I thought that looked really nice. And then I used some of the other artwork that I'd used before. But over here is going to be the room for the teenagers. So this is a bed that you get if you buy the expansion pack before a certain time. I think September. I might be getting that incorrect. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought it looked really fun, especially for a teenager's room, because it's kind of a messy bed, and it's really the only bed that we have in the entire game that's not tidy. And so I really like that it looks a bit messy, and you can see the mattress underneath of it. There's some clutter underneath the bed, so I think it looks super cool. I really like it. But yeah, this is going to be a teenager's room. So for a teenager's room, I used some of these new posters, which are also really nice. There's a lot of different swatches, and yeah, just a lot of different posters. So I thought they were pretty cool. Definitely work for a teenager's room. But in here, I get the bed, of course. There's a dresser, a desk. Again, they're all base game objects that I end up using. There is that desk that I think looks nice, but it didn't match the style of the house at all. It definitely has that more Art Deco look. I hope I'm getting that style correct, but I think that's the style that they were going for. But I decided to put a computer in here. That fan is also new with the expansion pack. I used it a couple of times in the build. I think that's super cool. There for a moment you did see another new chair that's with the expansion pack, but again, I didn't think it fit like the family home look that I was going for. So I ended up not using it. I definitely need to do a house using more of that style. But yeah, I wanted to do more of a rundown look, and those ones just felt too fancy. There's another painting that came with the expansion pack, and then that mirror and that little dog statue is also new with the pack. I really like the mirror because there's all of those little pictures on it. I end up using that same mirror again in the parents' bedroom, and just switching up the swatches because a couple of the different swatches have different pictures on them, so I was able to use it twice, so I was really happy about that. I thought it would be like the same pictures for every single swatch, but it wasn't. So yeah, this is going to be the parents' room. I think it turns out really nice. I really love these windows. I really love that there's an open version of it. Super cool. That little flower plant that I used is new with the expansion pack. Over here, I decided to use these blinds instead of those curtains that I was using, just because the windows were so big and having all of the curtains just felt very overpowering to me. So I felt like that was kind of nice to mix it up. But here I'm using this mirror again. I'm using the swatch that I was currently using in the teenager's room, and then just changed the swatch in the teens room. So that ended up working out pretty nicely. And then over here is going to be the upstairs bathroom. Both bathrooms in the build are full bathrooms. They're both pretty big. Like, this house ended up being a lot more spacious than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, that's pretty nice and spacious build. And it should be pretty player friendly because I wasn't trying to overly clutter it up and make it feel too busy or anything. And so I think that should be pretty nice, hopefully. But over here is the upstairs balcony deck area. I just put a couple of lounge chairs and a few decorations, and then on the back I put a chess table, and then this is it for the build. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope you guys do enjoy the screenshots. So thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!